Dartzone sails the 7 seas. A wave of new blaster design inundates the hobby, while scams and trade woes buffet the international blaster market.
I'm Grim.
I'm Vile Mods.
And I'm KT. We are your hosts, all that and much, much more in episode 50 of the Foam News Collective, our first episode of our 2025 season, our third year bringing you the foam flinging news. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for another exciting year, but for now, let's get right into the news.
Flintlock styled hammer prime, revolver mechanisms, and translucent plastic? This really is a wild, wild west. But what's a blaster without a little wild and whimsy? Dartzone has released 2 new Flintlock action blasters, the Renegade and the Buccaneer. The Renegade is the rifle of the two, running an 8-dart cylinder, a longer barrel, and short stock, with the Buccaneer being the smaller Flintlock pistol utilizing a 4-shot revolver at its front end, with both utilizing red translucent plastics. Prices currently are only listed in AUD with $20 for the Renegade and $12 for the Buccaneer respectively. Links as always in the description.
Nerf has been slowly trickling out Ward in-series reshells since the holiday season came to a close. First up is the Topbreaker with its tiny thumbhole stock and break action front barrel, similar to the Mega Tri-Break for $10. At the same time, we got the Purestrike, which appears to be the same blaster with a minimized shell for $5. General Strife also found an early listing from the Brazilian website Mdisa Distribution for the in-series Double Impact. However, without any images or pricing, it's hard to speculate if this will be another reshell or something new in the lineup.
3D designer Foam Propulsion Designs is back with a new flywheeler named Kite. Firing at 150 FPS on a 3S LiPo and either semi-auto or at 11 darts per second full auto, this Kite is more than ready for flight. The Kite has a unique 3-stage trigger. Depressing the inner trigger revs the motors, a partial trigger pull fires in semi-auto, and holding it down all the way fires in full auto. To help control the blaster in full auto, FPD opted for a unique dart sensor which cuts off power to the solenoid when there is no dart present, ensuring compatibility with all magazines and followers. Instructions and more information can be found on their website, along with files, parts, and fully assembled blasters for purchase. As always, links in the description.
Released upon an unsuspecting world from the deranged minds at Moose Mod Shop, Greg.
Luckily for you, there are a few customizable Greg variants, such as Big Greg, that can be configured in either full-length or cut-down Mega XL, or cut-down exclusive Mammoth Greg. Depending on how you configure Greg, these absolute behemoth blasters can fire those cut-down Mega XL darts at an insanely high 240 FPS. Needless to say, these should not be fired upon any living creatures, as they could cause serious harm. Hardware kits are available at Moose Mod Shop for between $200 and $220, or you can get a Mammoth built for $625 if printing one isn't within your capabilities. Speaking of, anyone looking to build one themselves should be prepared to use 4 to 5 spools of filament and expect fairly long print times.
The Silly Shell platform has received a lot of love this winter with new accessories and blasters, including a highly anticipated new blaster from Silly himself. Starting off, we have a series of new 3D printable Picatinny mount shell holders from 1 shell all the way up to a massive 9 shell version, all available as free to download files on Silly's printables page. Next up, Kaladin-of-Gilead has given us possibly the most silly of all the silly shells, a Hotdog compatible shell, firing half-length glizzies downrange at 42 FPS in the designer's testing with a battle axe. Hotdog thunder jokes aside, this is a great way to give your dog treats if you don't mind getting some hot dog water in your Yeet hammer. If you're looking for a silly sidearm, check out the Grayson XL by Nerf, a silly shell firing remix of the Samson. No performance numbers were provided, but according to the designer, it has a shorter plunger tube but higher efficiency. It also has shell ejection, similar to Wild Style. Files to print and build your own are available for free on Nerf's printables page. And finally, Sillybutts has announced his long-awaited Breacher, a tube magazine-fed silly shell ejecting shotgun. In early January, he released a video of the first prototype, following up shortly with a firing demo. The magazine, powered by 3 Foam Blast drum mag springs, will hold 4 shells in its base configuration, with optional replacement muzzles that extend the magazine to hold 5 or 6 shells. Breacher is expected to go through multiple stages of closed beta before being released in summer of 2025. Keep an eye on Silly's website and consider joining his Discord to keep up with development.
Domochevsky has released his second reshell for the X-Shot Micro 2.0. This new variant sports a 2-finger trigger design, which both primes and fires the blaster with a single pull. With a little help from Corvus, it also has a 3-dart inline clip option that doesn't require flicking the blaster to seat the next dart, which combined with the single pull trigger allows for rapid shots in succession. Shell ejection lovers will also be happy to hear that Domo has released the GenCo Megawerks ammo storage coffer. This storage has inserts for 40 max or Bungee max, fly point, and silly shells, and has amenities to add a battery, switch, and LED lighting if so desired. Links to GenCo Megawerks Etsy page will be down in the description.
Phantom Tech has teamed up once again with hobby designer Shanye to bring us a new injection molded blaster, the MZ01. This unique blaster is not only injection molded but features lever action functionality, a 4+1 tube magazine capacity, a rubber bayonet at the bottom, and 3 swappable springs and 2 barrels, including an HVZ safe setup. While pricing is unclear at this time, the blaster will be available on outofdarts.com in clear, orange, and pink. Links in the description.
Double-stacked mags have never really taken off in our hobby, either due to feeding problems or just being too big. But Jerry's Random Stuff has taken a different approach with the Tandem magazine, placing short darts front to back instead of side to side. This new design fits within a standard full-length magwell and has 2 separate followers, allowing 1 stack of darts to be fired off before moving on to the next stack. Configurations come in 12, 25, and 33 dart capacities, while still remaining similar in size to most of Nerf's straight mag offerings. This mag requires a modified pusher to work, and Jerry has already created one for the Griffin. With more community involvement, hopefully we'll see more pusher adapters in the near future.
With a month off comes a monolith of news to cover, and it looks like the hobby spent a lot of that time making a Flurry of Fury, a ton of parts for the X-Shot Fury X. Leedle Dynamics has released a kit that takes the humble pistol into a full rifle with a barrel extension, stock extension, additions to the rail, and a top slide prime giving it a bolt prime. Out of Darts has released a replacement front end allowing for a cullet system and barrel replacement, as well as 2 springs that make your Fury X go at either 190 or 200 FPS respectively on the stock barrel. AK Blaster Mods has also released a number of parts for the Fury X, including a 9kg spring, metal catch, and a replacement collet system front end for the blaster. Silver Fox Industries has also made their own replacement collet front end for either purchase or self-printing that tries its best to closely mirror the stock front end while adding a barrel swap functionality. Printables designer Corvus has created a host of parts from a bolt action and T-pull conversion kit, a foregrip, 2 separate collet systems, a silencer style scar, and a plug-and-play B-car, all with files available on Printables. On the topic of B-cars, Griffins and More has released their own bearing car for the Fury X, available on Etsy in 6, 9, and 12 bearing setups. Finally, closing out this Flurry of Fury is a variety of Fury X parts available on Printables to print for yourself, starting at the back as a replacement mag release and grip for the top slide by Paper Skeletons 3D, a smooth cover for the top slide to increase comfort by FIV, a top slide mounted sling point by Pyron, a top end Picatinny add-on by Soggy Augie, an extended front end to add more Picatinny by Wei Zhang Huang, and finally another take on the cullet system, this one by Centuryman79. Links to all these parts can be found in the description.
The worker Quinlan has also received quite a bit of love via hobby 3D designers, Out of Darts' part sourcing team, and from worker themselves. On his printables page, Chance has released a non-threaded barrel chamber and a safety delete that you can download and print for free. Out of Darts is carrying a set of printed replacement rails designed by Red Cow that offer a weight reduction and easier teardown thanks to a split top rail. Bolster that with their knurled teardown thumb screws to easily swap in a replacement spring from Spitfire products or from Out of Darts, or other parts like the drop-in dual mag release that Perry designed, also available from Out of Darts. Worker is now offering a $21 bipod meant specifically for the Quinlan, which you can get from any Worker dealer. And for the serious Quinlan aficionado, you can now also get an all-metal version made of machined aluminum for $900. This glowing treasure of a blaster is fully compatible with the original version and comes with a new alternative bolt design.
We've also had a number of string-powered blaster releases over the break with some interesting twists in them. Starting off, Leedle Dynamics dropped the Hush 2, a complete redesign of his first stringer, the Hush, refining its functionality and ergonomics with a new optional foregrip and sling loops to allow for single-arm operation. Something that might not have been on your 2025 bingo card is a shell-ejecting stringer, introducing the Sklep MK1 by Kenny John Huhu. This little single-shot blaster fires Flypoint or Kirin shells and ejects them when pulling back the slide. You're not stuck using shells, as you can manually load darts as well, but who can resist the surprise of a shell flying out of a stringer? If angled mags are your thing, then Captain Autismus has you covered with his second stringer design, the Stringback. This angled talon bullpup design utilizes a side prime which can be flipped for right or left-handed users. Captain Autismus says he might redesign the blaster to take Nightingale mags if he ever buys a blaster that uses them. Finally, something that I certainly wasn't expecting is a Mega XL stringer, the Yorick by Dubious Dubois. According to the creator, this monster single shot can fling Mega XL at a surprising 70 FPS, faster than stock Mega XL. Assembly is simple with only 5 printed parts that all slip together. Links to all the shops and file pages will be down in the description.
Mangzhong has released a new brushless dual-stage blaster platform, a primary that achieves around 205 FPS on 3S LiPo, with select fire, pre-rev, and all the bells and whistles you expect from a modern brushless blaster. The original design for this blaster, the MS Gonk, short for Milsim, was designed to fit a particular private field playstyle and also to benefit from the availability of off-the-shelf airsoft parts and accessories. But in response to foam hobbyists' desire for a new Gonk blaster, but concern about playing with a blaster with this profile, Gonk quickly released the NMS Gonk, a new shell for the same design with a more playful sci-fi aesthetic. Check out both versions and download the files for free at Mangzhong's printables page. Be aware this is a complex build with a long parts list that requires microcontroller programming, and Gonk suggests that the flywheel cage be printed in aluminum.
Yao07 Technologies has a new pistol offering, the Desmond Compact or D35-C, available on his printables page. This new blaster is designed to take both Nightingale and angled talon mags and meant to be a compact version of the original Desmond hand cannon. If you like shotties more than hand cannons, you may be interested in Yao's Open Fly project. This is his attempt to build an open source blaster utilizing the Colonel Wasp Firefly's internals, allowing people to make their own shell ejecting tube mag fed blaster and help replace outdated components such as the end strike stock attachment, a more modern sear system instead of a catch, or even push for a longer plunger stroke for more FPS. Currently, the release only includes base accessories that are interchangeable with the Firefly, but files will be updated as more progress is made. Unfortunately, the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is becoming increasingly relevant to our hobby, as it seems the hobby's growth has made us a juicier target for internet scammers. A recent blog post by Out of Darts pointed out a number of scam campaigns targeting our community with lookalike websites and social media pages, intended to steal customers' money and personal information. This comes shortly after Dartzone commented on their own Facebook giveaway post that a scam account was impersonating them with their own fake form to steal customer info. Always remember to be diligent in checking the legitimacy of websites and their SSL certificates, also known as the HTTPS:// or padlock symbols in your browser bar, as well as confirming a company's official email before replying. Also, keep an eye out for extra characters in a URL or social media handle, poor grammar, and suspicious giveaway or sale offers. When you spot a likely scam, be sure to let your community know. We foam flingers look out for each other.
The team behind Maryland Mayhem has announced their theme for 2025, Milky Way Mayhem. Not a lot of other details yet, but space! Should make for an interesting HVZ experience. Additionally, Maryland Foam Tournament has partnered with Dartzone and adopted the Max Nitro Shot Plus Half Dart as the official chronograph dart of the event. Although all competitive blasters will be required to pass chrono tests with these darts, any darts may be used on the field based on the idea that the specific properties of the Nitro Shot Plus dart should mean that any other dart will fire similarly or slower from the same blaster. Donut Cat has been compiling data on the relative behavior of a variety of common darts to help aid players to prepare if they don't have consistent access to the Nitro Shot Plus darts. Find the link to that data down in the description, along with registration information for Maryland Mayhem 3.
Mark your calendars, stock some Perca-Cola, and get your loadouts locked in because PTC HVZ COD Zombies Round 2 is about to begin. Back for their 6th Invitational, this time hosted by Grove City College, UGC, PTC reprises their COD Zombies-inspired HVZ experience with its own in-game currency, perks, and more on April 4th and 5th, 2025. PTZ HVZ would also like to have custom bandanas for the event, but will need funding to make that possible, with sponsorship details listed down below. For more information, visit the links in the description.
Merge Masters 2025 is underway. This year's theme, Thinking Inside the Box, requires blasters to fit within a certain build size to really push the integrator's creativeness. The categories by size are Minigration, Compact, and Gulliver. When the competition officially started at 12:01 a.m. February 1st, a lot of participants hit the ground running. This looks to be one of the biggest turnouts so far. Currently, there are over 30 entries with some very familiar community names in the lineup. Mr. Nathan and Caster of Flywheel World are using a new forum section of the Merge Masters Discord, along with a bi-monthly live stream on Mr. Nathan's YouTube channel to check in on build progress and to hold live deep dive Q&As with creators. The competition runs until April 30th, 2025, with voting taking place during the month of May, and if you're looking to throw your hat into the ring, be sure to join Mr. Nathan's Merge Master Discord and look over the official rules and how to enter channels.
The blaster hobby was briefly impacted by a series of tariffs imposed by the Trump administration soon after the newly inaugurated US president took office. In addition to likely long-term price increases on all imported goods, these policy changes also eliminated the de minimis tariff exception for items worth less than $800, immediately creating long delays at US customs for all shipments. Thankfully, this series of tariffs and rule changes was rescinded, returning US shipping to the status quo. But just in the attempt, some damage has already been done to trade relations between the US and some of its largest trade partners that may manifest in other problems down the road. Aside from the potential impact on major brands, many of which are international in their own right, the foam flinging hobby has become more international in the last few years as Asian manufacturers ship more unique products to the US and begin collaborating with Western designers on new projects. If an international trade war begins in earnest, this current area of hobby growth may hang in the balance. Linked to this is the recent disappearance of TikTok from US app stores due to legal confusion with a ban targeting the company's Chinese ownership, initiated during Trump's first term, but put into action at the tail end of the Biden administration. While the app still has a dedicated audience of people who either kept it installed during its brief downtime in late January this year or are international users, the user base has not recovered from the confusion. TikTok represented a significant avenue of discovery for the foam flinging hobby thanks to creators like Sophie Lightning, Ri-Fi, and many others, but it's hard to tell what the long-term impact of this loss might be. Dartzone continues to reskin its blasters to match their Nitro Shot line, including the Max Solo, the Outlaw, and the Spectrum. X-Shot surprisingly has also reskinned the Meteor and Orbit in a clear with blue accents colorway, and somewhat less surprisingly has continued to release new skins for the X-Shot Longshot, beyond the blue and white skin to match the Fury X and the limited anime skin, now including a licensed Pac-Man skin. Krine of Blaster Time found a cluster of upcoming licensed Nerf accessories, mostly targets and safety goggles, some of them with sound or other interactive elements. Krein was able to confirm that these new items are made by Wilder Toys, a new collaborator for Hasbro, run by one of the folks who worked on the common bunker inflatable barriers. Tinkershot of Spitfire Products has released the Javelin M4X, an evolution of his previous Javelin and coat hanger blasters, merged into a fully featured Springer primary with a more traditional look. Although they're sold out as of this writing, he plans to offer files and hardware kits down the road, and he also offers an accessory pack with all the parts designed for this blaster to brighten up any design that uses common real steel style attachment points. Designer Mark IV has created the H-Claw, a minimization and simplification of the Havran. While the build process is simpler than the original, Mark IV says many of the changes they made are focused on using hardware specifically available to them, so your mileage may vary. ADI Crafts teased an upcoming blaster from Mr. Heathpants, a bolt-action, shell-ejecting rifle. Similar to the Shellington Renfield, this yet unnamed plunger in-grip blaster features double-stacked magazines and stripper clip loading, and may be able to achieve 250 FPS performance. Band Blasters has released a fully assembled drop-in Banshee cage for the Dartzone Venom Pro, appearing to achieve 180 to 215 FPS depending on your battery and darts. It costs $75 at Band Blaster's website. Sillybutts released his Comfy Lump Picatinny foregrip, a free-to-download file on his printables with more and less grippy variations. While you're on his printables, Foxbat enjoyer should check his updated parts for the catch plate in the Foxbat. That should solve some common issues users of that blaster have been reporting. Deadman's Foam and Big Lore have collaborated to bring us a short dart pusher design for the X-Shot Clip Mania. This internal part drops into the blaster with a standard Talon adapter and is free to download on printables. Also on printables, Gemini has released some new parts for and related to the Nerf Pro Torrent. A Dogbone style skinny dart pusher to allow for hot swapping magazines, and a pump kit with a B-car compatible muzzle. He's also created a new foregrip inspired by the aesthetics of the Torrent, which can be used on any Picatinny rail. Tan has forked over a useful new design, a printable dart cleanup tool called the Foam Fork, inspired by and released with the blessings of the team behind Dart Devil. When used correctly, the foam fork can grab up to 21 darts, and the handle can be made of a variety of wooden dowels or a length of common barrel materials. We have a full catalog of new magazine accessories from various hobby creators. Damage Report has released a 1, 2, or 3 dart magazine extension for XYL Unicorn magazines, while TofuCat762 has created a Coda magazine spacer that reduces capacity by a few, but improves feed reliability. SpeedSloth remixed Anthony C's double-stacked mag holders for compatibility with Diana magazines, and Performance Mods created new half-dart magazine adapters compatible with both Nightingale and Angled Talon magazines. Sillybutts made a new blaster display stand for full-length mag blasters with a nice long base to counter your blaster's weight, and Mazzo Factory has started offering custom colorways for orders of at least 4 of their single, double, and pocket howler pouches. Prepare for even more plastic parts as Perry the Pacific Northwest Zone Platypus is posting a plethora of his own as he picks up his CAD skills for his work at Out of Darts. Listings on the page so far include some Maxim Pro upgrades, the Little Rocket P car, and more. Southern California's Armageddon event announced its dates for 2025, Saturday and Sunday, June 28th and 29th. No other details yet, but enough to set aside in your calendar. Similarly, the End War team announced that registration for their event will open on Sunday, March 23rd, but again, no more details are offered. We can extrapolate a possible late June date for that event, but nothing has been confirmed as of yet. A 2025 Netflix film, Back in Action, included a shot with a couple modified Nerf blasters, a Strife and a Gavin Fuzzy Spamf. Well-known modder Herb Meister, identified as the builder of both, took credit for getting them on screen. Nice job, Herb. And congratulations to Luchathor, the most recent addition to the Out of Darts team. Jose will be bringing his supply and inventory management skills to the successful hobby business.
And that's all for the news. If you'd like to support us further and help make our journalistic endeavors sustainable, consider joining as a Ko-Fi member or stopping by our merch store. A massive thank you as always to our contributors, Ko-Fi subscribers, and Discord moderation team. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you think down in the comments. Check us out on the podcast where we have Lock 747 of Sub-Zero Blaster Battle on to chat. Thus concludes our first news episode back from our break and the start of FNC Year 3. Thanks for watching.
First prop change of the year. And we'll see if anybody figures out why this cardboard box is here. Will anybody know what's happening here? Probably not. Maybe they'll figure it out. I guess you can see that it says worker.
Christmas gift. The family knows me.
Quite a bit of love via Hobby 3D. Impacted by a series of tariffs imposed. I've had this for months. I've not even opened it. Maybe I'll run it at an event. I'd run that. Also eliminated the de minimis tariff exception. That's a word. The foam flinging hobby has become more international. Emphasis on hobby. The foam flinging hobby has become more international. Foam flinging hobby.
Domochevsky.
And congratulations to Luthachor. And congratulations to Congratulations to Luchathor. Oh, I did not read that as I wrote it down.
Making my way downtown. Hope that works. I hope that I don't have to redo it all, but I probably will. Gonna have to do it all. Probably. And I need you.